Hello. Okay. Hi, everyone. Hey, Matt. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I think we have a full room now. So we'll get started. I'm going to also talk in Spanish until we pass it to the interpreters. Decía que ya se mira que tenemos un cuarto lleno. Entonces vamos a comenzar. I'll say it in English first and say it in Spanish after. So welcome everyone to the 2024 California CLT Network Conference. We're so thrilled. We're so thrilled to have everyone here in Los Angeles. After 2 years ago, I think we had our last one here in LA. And oh my God, it was 3 days ago, it was 110. So you all brought the good weather. And my name is Oscar Monge. I'm currently the board president of the California Community Interest Network. And I'm also with the T.R.U.S.T LA team. We have a table over there. So hi, everyone. En español. Bienvenidos a nuestra conferencia de la red de fideicomisos de California del 2024. Gracias por acompañarnos hoy aquí en Los Ángeles. Y decía en inglés que hace 3 días estaba a 110. Ustedes trajeron el clima muy bueno esta vez porque estaba mejor, estaba muy caliente. I want to pass it on next to our interpreters so that they're able to interpret and provide instructions. Voy a pasarle el micrófono a los intérpretes. And maybe if it's easier for you to use this one too, because it's just
Bueno, si hay alguien que todavía no tiene su dispositivo de interpretación, les pedimos que pasen a la mesa del registro para tomarlo. If there's someone that still doesn't have their interpreting equipment and wishes to participate in Spanish, please go to the registration table. Buenas tardes, soy Melo. Esta parte va a ser bilingüe. This part will be bilingual while people get ready with their equipment. Esta parte va a ser bilingüe en lo que está ya la gente lista con sus dispositivos. Buenas tardes, yo soy Melody y junto con Lluvia, Juan y Salvador somos sus intérpretes comunitarios para esta conferencia 2024. My name is Melody, and together with Lluvia, Juan, and Salvador, we are your community interpreters for this 2024 conference. Queremos comenzar centrando la justicia del lenguaje, el derecho que toda persona tiene de participar plenamente en el idioma que siente mayor comodidad y libertad. We want to start by centering language justice, the right that every person has to fully participate in the language they feel most comfortable in and most free in. Practicamos la justicia del lenguaje para crear espacios de pertenencia y de transformación. We practice language justice to create spaces of belonging and transformation. Y la justicia del lenguaje es una responsabilidad compartida que requiere que seamos muy intencionales en la forma en cómo nos expresamos. Esto incluye la velocidad y el registro que usamos, cómo explicamos lenguaje técnico y acrónimos. Language justice is a shared responsibility, and it requires us to be intentional about the way we express ourselves. This includes our speed and register that we use, how we explain technical language and acronyms. Y lo de la velocidad, en particular, es muy importante para los que hablan inglés, porque al español solemos necesitar más palabras y frases más largas para expresar lo mismo que se dijo en inglés. And speed is especially important for English speakers because in Spanish, we often need longer words and longer phrases to interpret the same meaning. Y ser conscientes de nuestra velocidad, tomando pausas, respirando, especialmente cuando hablar más lento cuando decimos el nombre de algo, el título de algo, ayuda no solo a que la interpretación sea más precisa, pero también a todo mundo para poder procesar todo el aprendizaje, todo el compartir tan profundos que vamos a hacer aquí en la conferencia. And being mindful of our speed, and that it means taking breaths, pauses, slowing down when we say names and titles of things, helps so that the interpretation is precise, more accurate, but also it helps everybody's capacity to process such deep thinking and sharing, learning that we're doing here at the conference. La interpretación del inglés al español va a ser simultánea con los aparatos, los dispositivos de interpretación, y la interpretación del español al inglés va a ser consecutiva, así que les pedimos que hagan pausas entre frases cortas para la interpretación y que las personas que están escuchando esperen hasta que la persona termine de hablar y se termine de interpretar lo que se dijo. So interpretation from English to Spanish will be simultaneous via the equipment. And interpretation from Spanish to English will be consecutive. And so we ask speakers to pause in between phrases for the interpretation and for listeners to wait until the person has finished speaking and the interpretation has also been rendered. El último anuncio es que para las personas que desean participar en español, cuando pasemos a los talleres esta tarde, solo 2 talleres van a contar con interpretación y esto lo basamos en la preferencia que ustedes nos dieron o la mayoría de ustedes. And the final announcement is that for the workshops this afternoon, 2 of the workshops will have interpretation, and this is based on people's preference that people shared with us. Esos 2 talleres son el de ciudades, condados y fideicomisos colaboran para crear hogares duraderos y el de estrategias de fideicomisos para donación de tierras, ventas a descuento y donaciones de bienes planificadas. So those 2 workshops are cities, counties, and CLTs collaborating to create homes that last, and CLT strategies for land donation, bargain sales, and planned giving. Ahora sí vamos ya con la interpretación simultánea, así que pónganse sus dispositivos. Si necesitan ayuda, acudan a un intérprete que no esté interpretando y les ayudamos. So we're starting now with simultaneous interpretation. So put on your devices, those who need it. And if you need assistance, you can come to one of the interpreters who's not interpreting in that moment, and we will assist you. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you, Melody. If there's anyone that needs interpretation, please seek out one of our interpreters. Si hay alguien que necesita intérprete, por favor, busquen a los intérpretes. Okay, thank you all. So I wanted to start. Do you have a? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. We'll start with some acknowledgements. The first one is the land acknowledgement, and this statement was prepared by the network's member organization, the Tomba Taraha Conservancy. And we began by acknowledging that thank you, Leo. We began by acknowledging that Los Angeles sits on the land of the Gabrielino Tomba peoples. We acknowledge the Gabrielino Tomba as the original caretakers of the Tombagar, which spans LA County and the Southern Llanos Islands. The Gabrielino Tomba people continue to remain in relationship to these lands through ceremony, culture, and stewardship. They are important parts of not only the history of this area, but also in continuing knowledges of this place. We are here near the village of Yanga, what's known as downtown Los Angeles. For thousands of years, the Gabrielino Tomba people have walked on this land, tended this land, and survived on this land. Tomba people's relationship with the land is at the center of their lives and spirituality. We all have a responsibility to help take care of the land so that it takes care of us in return. The Tomba Taraha Pakaba Conservancy, a Tomba-led organization, is using traditional ecological knowledge to transform Huhonga, Place of the Bears, the first land that was returned to the Tomba people. In many native languages, including Tomba, there is no direct translation for thank you. That is because gratitude is not a thing you say, but an action you take or gift you give in return for what has been given. To learn more and offer reciprocity for the land where we are today, we invite you to follow the Tomba Taraha Pakaba Conservancy on their Instagram, and that's at tomba.taraha, or visit their website, tomba.land, as we return to healing solutions that benefit all of us, moving in the direction of hope, abundance, and unity. The next, we wanted to also share some acknowledgements and put our work into context. And before we begin, it's important to recognize that our program will be a reflection of our work in the community land trust movement. Our 19 panels and workshops in this year's conferences were proposed by CLT Network members and partners. then voted on by your members, and then planned by many of you. Even more than previous years, this gathering is being co-created by all of you, and we want to recognize the efforts of our workshop conveners and presenters, as well as the folks who led our tours this morning. In addition to that, we also know that you are all impacted by issues beyond the scope of our housing justice issues that will be the focus of this conference. And we want to recognize that pain caused by the ongoing genocide in Gaza, fueled by American dollars, and contributing to the destruction of thousands of homes, the opposite of our shared commitment to safe, stable, and affordable housing. I want to remind us to continue learning about these issues, these struggles, and how they impact our daily work and our efforts to be better stewards of the land. And I'll pause here. I want to pass it next to Hope to take us to the next activity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. I apologize to everyone in advance. I'm a little shaky right now because sunburned. So my name is Hope Williams. My pronouns are she, her. I wear a few hats. I work with the Sustainable Economies Law Center. I am a board member for the network, and I'm board president for the San Francisco Community Land Trust. So I really want us to get a sense of who is in this room. And I know we're all kind of sitting with our buddies already. So this is just an excuse to talk to each other for the next couple of minutes. But if you don't know someone, please introduce yourself. We're going to give you a minute or two. Take your time. Haha. All right. Okay. Hello. Oh, hi. Hello. Whoa. Okay. Bringing it back. Bringing it back. Bringing it back. Sorry about the whistle. We feel introduced. We feel energized. Clap once if you can hear me. Oh, cool. Don't make me do it 3 times. All right. Clap twice if you can hear me. Oh my God. All right. Thank God. So I'm going to start by reading a series of statements, and I'm going to ask that if the statement applies to you, that you stand up or sit down or scream or clap loudly and go, ayo. So we're going to practice. I'm going to read the statement, so get ready to stand and yell if it applies to you. You're left-handed. Wow. All right. Lots of pride in this room. Super cool. All right. You're from Southern California. Woo! Go SoCal. You're here from Northern California. Ow! Go Giants. What? Okay. You're here. Sorry. Just saying. You're here from the Central Valley. Yeah. All right. You're a CLT resident. Woo! Hell yeah. You're right. We're here. All right. You're a CLT board member. Woo! You're a CLT staff member. Ow! All right, you guys are really good. All right, you partner with, support, or advocate for CLTs. Yes, this table, I know. Okay. All right, so we got some movement updates, and I'm going to spend a few minutes just catching you all up on the latest and greatest. That is a photo of me. Leo, change it. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Woo, awkward. So our movement keeps growing. We are up to an incredible 50 community land trusts across California. Yeah, big round of applause. Good job, everyone. We have new CLTs that are organizing in virtually every part of the state. And every single week, the network is receiving inquiries from community members about how to start a CLT or partner with the local one. And so we have 23 emerging, 27 established, 50 statewide. Thanks. So a big part of the growth in our movement is happening, whoops, that was my bad, is happening in the movement, is happening in the Central Valley where activists, yeah, woo, and advocates are working on an array of projects to put land and housing in control of historically marginalized and low-income community members. We are excited, sorry, I have to script, whoop, okay, I'm a script girly. We are excited to be joined today by organizers from 15 Central Valley-based organizations that are pioneering exciting new forms of community ownership, ranging from cooperative agriculture to tribal community spaces to community-owned housing. Woo! All right. Next, please. So good, thank you, Leah. All right, so regional gatherings. So the growth in the movement and the necessity to push local and regional governments for policy change has sparked regional CLT gatherings across the state. Look at us. All right, from marching to increase funding for affordable housing in Los Angeles, to lobbying at the Capitol, to workshops in Fresno, and happy hours in Oakland. We don't know about those. We're rediscovering the power of building community in person. Wonderful, thank you. Okay, so CLTs and anti-displacement advocates have been working with local governments to shift local policies towards community ownership and permanent affordability. And we've seen significant momentum in the past year plus. The cities of Eureka, Berkeley, and Oakland have agreed to transfer land into Indigenous stewardship. Woo, yeah, I know, very exciting. Laguna Beach, Bakersfield, Long Beach also. Woo, yeah, very good. All right, next, Leo, thank you. All right, you're hired. All right, so we are closely following the courageous work of our Indigenous-led members who are rematriating land across the state. Many of you joined last year's tour of the Renamie site in the Oakland Hills, where the Segorite Land Trust, give it up for Segorite Land Trust, is reclaiming ancestral land. And this year they won a multi-year struggle for a shell mound site in Berkeley. And we can go to the next slide. Thank you. Sorry, no, sorry. So to keep pace with all of the exciting work of our members, the CLT network has launched 4 technical assistance programs. One focuses on connecting CLTs to expert real estate consultants for help on specific development projects. Another connects CLTs to attorneys for assistance with drafting and reviewing legal documents and other legal matters, business planning, and campaign advocacy. Oh, yeah, 74 consultations in 206 plus hours, but who's counting? That's amazing. Excellent, thanks. All right, I'm gonna pass this mic over to my comrade, Lydia. Thank you so much, everyone.
This one working? Hi, everyone, welcome. All of this work would not be possible without our dedicated board of directors, elected by our membership at our yearly meeting every spring. So I would like us all to give a huge thanks to Oscar Monge, our board chair from T.R.U.S.T. South LA, Nazir Rabullones from Housing for All Long Beach, who is our vice chair, our dear Hope Williams, who is secretary from San Francisco CLT, Brisa Avila, Brisa Aviles from Tierras Indígenas CLT, Treasurer. Ian Winters from Northern California Land Trust. Sharia Alexander from Eden CLT. Jen Collins from Oak CLT. Yannickut Franco from the Wukchumni tribe. Roberto García Ceballos from Fideicomiso Comunitario Tierra Libre. Sarita Jones from Jepua. And Maribel Núñez from Inland Equity CLT. And if any of our CLT members are interested in joining the board, please let us, the staff at the network, know, and we can tell you more information about how to run next March. Next, I would like to walk you through some of our inspiring CLT projects, and we will be having some of our CLT presenting some of these highlights for the past year. And first, we have Tamika Lecluse from Sacramento CLT. Is Tamika here? Oh. Yeah. Exactly 3 minutes.
Oh my goodness, I thought this was for tomorrow. Hello, everyone. It's my shocked face.
We did switch the schedule, and we might have forgot to tell you.
Thank you so much for everyone being here. I'm Tamika Lecluse from Sacramento Community Land Trust. And you all of you, CLT's allies have been such a huge support to us. We would not have gotten our first acquisition without y'all. So give yourselves a round of applause, because there's a lift. So yes, so we, well, I'll explain this a little bit in my session later, but we are an emerging CLT. We started in 2018, incorporated in 2019. One of our founding members is here. And we acquired this amazing garden. It was gonna go on the market, and the owner's broker reached out to us and said, hey, Mr. So-and-so wants to sell so he can get his investment. But this garden is so important because it serves a community of folks who are transitioning out of homelessness. This garden serves the Safe Harbor Tiny Homes community, which is a community that a woman built in her own backyard, like literally in her backyard. And she lived next to a vacant lot, started planting the seeds, and something beautiful grew. This amazing garden grew. So here are the tiny homes in the tiny village. There's the entrance, and June 18th of 2024, is that what we're in? God, we acquired this property. So June 19th was a holiday. We had to do it the day before. So this property serves families straight from the streets, the bike trails, their cars, the people's couches, and stabilizes them. And what our goal is to have a whole pipeline from this transitional housing to permanent CLT affordable homeownership. So thank you.
Very inspiring. Thank you, Tamika. Next up, we have Elide Arroyo from Tierras Indígenas CLT, Barrio Logan, San Diego, in the house.
Let me take my. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lydia Arroyo. Take a breath. Hi. It's so good to see everybody's faces. There's so many people here. Exciting. So I'm Lydia Arroyo. I'm a founding board member from Tierras Indígenas Community Land Trust. We're based out of unceded Kumi Island in San Diego, California. We've been around for 2 years. August was our 2-year anniversary. Woo, yeah, that's huge. Our board consists of youth, artists, moms, activists, Chicanx, people of the greater majority, and we're all volunteers. So that says a lot about the work that we're doing. We all are doing it out of love. We currently are working on this huge project. We recognize that the work that we're doing is deeply grounded and rooted in the land and the health of our community. So the current project that we are in escrow for is to build to continue housing 10 residents that currently live in this property. But we're gonna have affordable housing. We're gonna have a holistic community clinic that will offer free holistic care to the community, as well as a community birth center that is led by traditional midwives. If there are any people here that understand birth work and know what's going on in the United States as far as birth, then you understand how revolutionary this project is. We're gonna have a community food garden as well as affordable art studios for our youth to continue to create art. We're based out of Barrio Logan, which is predominantly Chicanx, Latinx, people of the greater majority, whose median income is around $40,000 a year. Barrio Logan is also known for having some of the highest levels of contamination in Southern California, really high cancer rates, asthma rates. So bringing in green spaces, bringing in holistic care into our community, which at one point was a food desert, is huge. And we're in escrow, we're hitting some bumps. We actually launched our fundraiser campaign today. So if you go on our Instagram, you can see our video, and you can find our GoFundMe link on there as well.
Thank you, Elide. Next up, we would like to highlight Bay Area CLT project. Matt Gustafson, you're next. And this is a community preservation project in South Berkeley.
What a full house. I love it. Hey, everyone. My name is Matt Gustafson. Pronouns are he, him, and I work at the Bay Area Community Land Trust in Berkeley and Oakland. We've been around for about, woohoo. We've been around about 15 years, since 2006. And I'm excited to share about this project that we're in the middle of right now in historic South Berkeley. So South Berkeley, California is a historically redline community. One of the only places in Berkeley that Black folks were allowed to live for decades and generations. And as a result of that, there was a pretty thriving Black community that was built up over time into the 70s. At its peak, the community in South Berkeley was about 84% Black. But since the 70s, there's been a lot of displacement persistently happening in Berkeley and in Oakland, to the point where today, South Berkeley is only about 22% Black community. And so there's been a lot. I see Gail over here, like we're doing some really important work to try to reverse some of that displacement. But when this project, when the residents came to us earlier this year, it was like, we couldn't say no. It was like exactly what we are doing this work for, to keep folks in Berkeley. The story is a really beautiful story, and I can't tell it all in 2 minutes. But there's a family, Mr. Thomas Hamilton and his wife in the 60s, built this 12-unit apartment building, and over their life, rented it out intentionally to Black folks in the community, and kept rents low and kept profit margins really thin, because they knew that this displacement was happening. And so the legacy of their ownership and stewardship passed to their daughter when they passed several years ago. And recently, their daughter Tamra passed away. And so the brother who inherited the property, it became pretty clear that he didn't really want to manage it anymore. And so it was going to go up for sale earlier this year. The residents through East Bay Community Law Center found us and said, hey, we need help buying this building. And so we right now are in contract to purchase the building, which is 90% Black households, affordable rents, and it's taken a lot of work, like including the resident advocacy, which has been so powerful and so moving to see. Like residents turned out to get $10 million allocated in the city of Berkeley for a small sites program in June. So before we even were in contract, they were doing the work to get the city council to put money in the bank to help other folks like them in their situation over the next couple of years. Do preservation acquisitions. And so it's been amazing to work with the residents. Our co-op program manager, Rebecca, is in the room right now, who's been working with residents to like go through a lot of co-op training because they want to form a cooperative and collectively own the building after a year or two. So it's a really exciting project and just like super powerful story for the movement. So thank you all for your support, and we'll share more in the next session.
Thank you, Matt. Really inspiring story. I got to visit this development last month when Bay Area CLT hosted site visit, and it was really amazing hearing directly from the residents about how they were able to secure their building with the help of Bay Area CLT. And finally, we have South Bay CLT, Delma Hernandez. Oh, I skipped one. Sorry. Let's do Delma first, and then what? Oh, we don't.
No, can we do it without your slide? Okay.
Yo, hey everyone, no worries, no worries. I did write something because I'm also a script girly, and it helps me. So hi everyone, my name is Delma Hernandez, and I am an organizer with South Bay Community Land Trust, which is based in San Jose, unceded Ohlone land, and this year is actually our 5-year anniversary, so super excited about that. Yeah, and I'm really grateful to be here, but also to share our journey with Virginia Avenue residents as we work towards acquiring South Bay CLT's second property. And the Virginia Apartments is built in 1962. It's it's 3 buildings, an 18-unit complex in East Side San Jose in the Mayfair community. And it is home to a very tight-knit, low-income Spanish-speaking immigrant community, with some residents living there over 25 years. And for the past 2 years, we've been working with these residents to acquire the property. And this past year in 2023, when San Jose City Council members tried to cut about $26 million from affordable housing preservation funds, the residents organized, they came together, met with council members both on site and at City Hall to share their testimony. And due to the community strength and collective advocacy, $5 million were secured and protected. And just want to like highlight that big strength, big win. Because yeah, they came together and they were gonna cut all those funds, y'all. Like what? And South Bay CLT applied for these funds for the $5 million. And we received a letter of intent from City of San Jose recently this year for the full funds, and just recently received a letter of intent from the Bay Area Housing Finance Authority, the Regional Early Action Planning 2.0 grants, to support the acquisition and rehab. So we're right now in the final stretch to keep these families housed and rooted in their community. And I know that there's so many folks in this room that have been part of this journey with us. So I just want to say thank you, shout out to y'all. We're so close. So thank you.
Congratulations. I did skip one of our presenters, Oscar Monge from T.R.U.S.T South LA. Working while injured is no fun.
Hey, folks. Thank you. I also thought it was for tomorrow, but it's cool. It's all cool. Okay, so this is again T.R.U.S.T South LA, based here in South Los Angeles. We were born in 2005, so we're gonna be turning 20 next year. So we're super excited, trying to figure out how we're gonna celebrate and hoping to invite everyone to that celebration. I wanted to talk briefly about one of our newest projects. We acquired this single family property in Southwest Lawson Street, 5,000 square feet. And it's a commercially zoned site, and we have been trying to figure out what is the best way to increase the density on this vacant site. And so we have been working very closely with our partners, and I know that Genesis LA is in the room somewhere. I think I saw Alejandro, yeah, and a little Tokyo Service Center, and others. We're part of an initiative called the 3Cs, Connecting Capital and Communities. It's a national investment on groups throughout the state, throughout the country, to create strategies to create Black and brown ownership throughout the country. And so we're working together with Little Tokyo Service Center, and we're now in process. We acquired this property again in March. We're now in process of doing the pre-development, doing the renderings, doing like what is it that we can build here, going through planning department. We acquired it for $480,000. Why this is unique is that we're probably gonna do the first new development site for tenancy in common under a CLT structure. And we're aiming, and I'm gonna say it out here because we wanna speak it into the reality. We're aiming for ownership for 80% AMI folks. And so we're working towards making a price point of $490,000 per unit. We are currently working on filling a gap that we're projecting of just over $100,000 per unit. But we're also doing a lot of advocacy. And part of that advocacy is, we probably heard it, so folks that went last night, heard about United to House LA. We also are working on building homeownership opportunities through that. So giving first-time homebuyers, a little bit of a push to be able to get to that, right? So we're working to see how we can incorporate advocacy with our development. And I want to make sure that I say too that there's going to be more about this at a workshop tomorrow afternoon with my teammates, Stephanie from Little Tokyo Service Center, sitting in the back, and Aisha, my teammate, and others. And yeah, come to that panel and learn more about this project. Oh, and Francis too, I think you'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Oscar. And one last reminder for Spanish speakers, that interpreters will be going to 2 workshops after this welcome session is over. So please check with Lluvia and Melody if you are unsure which are those 2 workshops that will be covering Spanish interpretation. And now I would like to hand it over to my colleague Leo to go over an update on our advocacy efforts.
Hey, everybody, how we doing? How we doing? Come on. I know if you're like me and hope you got some sun this morning, and then you ate some food, and now you're sitting in a room. So if you need to walk around or, jiggle your arms or whatever, please do. We don't have to, be stuck in place here. I'm gonna talk a little about our advocacy work, looking back at the last year, looking ahead, hopefully some ways that different folks here can plug into the work. And then we're gonna talk about the plan for the rest of the day. We're gonna talk about the plan for tomorrow, and then we're gonna go to our first breakout workshop sessions. So that's it. Not too much more sitting. Let's talk about advocacy. So the way we've been thinking about our work, I don't know how close I need to be. Is this okay? My temptation is to hunch over. Okay, we've been thinking about our advocacy work in terms of 3 categories. The first is establishing legal and policy infrastructure to support the growth of CLTs and aligned models, social housing, community ownership. And I'll talk more about what that looks like. Another is decommodifying housing. So taking measures to oppose speculation in the real estate market and create opportunities for tenants, residents, CLTs to take property off the market. And then the third is funding CLT work, which is a little more straightforward. We know every community land trust and similar mission aligned organization needs operating support and also needs funds to acquire property, rehab that property, and support engagement with residents and community members. So what does this look like? On the CLTs and social housing infrastructure side, we have a bill called AB 2897, the Strong CLTs for California Act, which is a very impressive sounding name, right? It redefines community land trust in state law. Right now, we have a funky definition that doesn't quite speak to the work that everyone in this room does. At the same time, we're passing local ordinances that point to state law. We're hoping to have substantial policy wins in the future that need to point to a definition in state law. So by establishing a correct definition that includes a focus on affordable housing for low-income folks, but also things like mixed-use properties on a CLT, community serving small businesses on a CLT, community agriculture on a CLT, all of that, going forward, we'll be able to pass new state and local laws that are on solid ground. AB 2897, this is a 2-year fight we've had. We had a setback last year. It passed both the state assembly and the Senate over the last month, and it's sitting on Governor Gavin Newsom's desk right now. So we have not seen eye to eye with the governor on some significant things of late, but we don't think he has a reason to veto this bill. So I was kind of hoping like this morning we'd learned he signed it. How cool would that be? Hold on for news. Hopefully there'll be like a exciting email in the next couple of weeks. That's AB 2897. SB 555, this was the big social housing bill last year that we fought for with partners from around the state. It creates a definition of social housing that includes community land trusts, right? There's publicly owned and managed forms of social housing, and there's community managed and owned forms of social housing. That's what we're doing here. And it called on the state to commission a study of how the state can support and grow social housing over the next 10 years. They've started work on that. We are hoping to hold their hands to do a good and useful study that will be a launching point for more wins in the future. On the decommodifying housing front, we have Opportunity Purchase Act campaigns. These are sometimes known as TOPA or COPA. If you've been part of a TOPA or COPA campaign, you want to make a noise. Okay. It's a good amount of noise. We've had a bunch of local TOPA and COPA campaigns pop up in the last couple of years. We've had some setbacks. So East Palo Alto and San Jose ordinances were not voted in or kind of dramatically voted in and then not voted in one case. But at the same time, we have an opportunity coming up in Berkeley. We have the LA County and maybe city TOPA campaigns picking up speed. I know Matthew's here somewhere. Talk to him about that. We have new campaigns starting in Fresno, Sacramento, and elsewhere. So a lot of work on that front. Give it up for TOPA. Sure. Sure. And then Prop 33, this is a statewide ballot measure. We're going to talk about a couple statewide ballot measures, and some of you are like already plugged into campaigns. And for everyone else, we hope you like educate your grumpy, confused parents, which is what I'm going to do about them. This would empower cities to pass stronger rent control measures, right? So, and the reason this is on the decommodifying housing, we see tenant protections and tenants' rights as part of a continuum with community ownership, right? The more we limit what the market can do to tenants, the closer we're getting to ultimately putting them in control of their housing. Sure, Prop 33. Okay, and then there's a lot of bullet points here. That's because there's been a lot of action on the funding CLT side. Mixed results. So I'm going to start with the hard stuff. Both the foreclosure intervention housing preservation program and the community anti-displacement and preservation program fell victim to budget cuts this summer. I think most people here were involved in some way or other with FIP or CAP. So you know how much of a disappointment this is, and we're still kind of trying to figure out next steps there. Is it trying to bring these back? Is it turning them into something different? I think in the debate the other night, Donald Trump had a concept of a plan. I think we have a concept of a plan. I don't think we have a plan yet, but we're going to work on it. And then regional measure 4 was just removed from the ballot a few weeks ago. This was going to be a bond measure to fund the Bay Area Housing Finance Authority. That's more money that would have gone to CLTs and other affordable housing organizations in the Bay. So that's really tough. Many of us are still reeling from all of this. At the same time, there's some exciting opportunities to fund our work ongoing. So one is Measure A in Los Angeles. Woo-hoo. Sure, Measure A. So this would be a sales tax increase that would fund a regional housing body that would do a bunch of things, but including funding affordable housing preservation and the work that CLTs are doing in LA. So that's a hot topic here right now. And then we have Prop 5. This is a statewide ballot measure, another one for the cranky parents, about reducing the threshold for passing an affordable housing bond measure. Right now, you need 67% of votes to pass a bond measure for housing. This would reduce it to 55%, which, you know, not every region has an affordable housing bond measure right now. Most don't, but we want to pass Prop 5 before you try to run one in the future, right? Let's get this done, and they'll set us up for bigger things later. It also would reduce the threshold for water infrastructure and parks and other forms of infrastructure. So this is part of a bigger tent effort. And we have a bunch of flyers about Prop 5 out on our resource table out there, as well as Prop 33, Measure A. It's all out there. And then, so we've been talking about different forms of government support for our work, whether it's local government, state government. This is a little different. We've also had a focus on, also had a focus on getting more resources from the banking community and lenders. So some of that looks like working with friendly lenders, some of which are in the room, to try to make sure there are products out there that work for the CLT model, right? We have some funky things we need that are not so conventional. We have ground leases. We talk about permanent affordability. Often CLT projects are preservation projects. We're working with tenants on a short timeline. And so we need financing that works for that. We've also been active in getting community benefits agreements with banks when they're buying another bank. And that's like a moment where there's leverage for advocates to say, you owe us. You are chartered by the federal and state government. You're allowed to be banks. So if you're buying another bank, you have to answer to government and answer to the people, who's us. So we've managed to get language about community land trusts and affordable housing preservation into community benefits agreements with Central Valley Community Bank, First Citizens Bank, Silicon Valley Bank, U.S. Bank, Bank of California, and Umpqua Bank. That's a lot of banks, at least 5 of 6 of which still exist. And now we're working, many of you are working on talking to them about how to make good on those commitments, right? We want to see operating supports for CLTs. We want to see acquisition financing and development financing that our groups need to do their thing. So that's the advocacy piece. Yeah. Look out for those flyers with information about the ballot measures. Talk to your cranky parents, and let's talk about the rest of the conference. So we can't talk about the rest of the conference. This is a weird transition without talking about our sponsors. As you all know, we have very low ticket prices because we are a member-driven organization, and that feels like what people want. So we are really dependent on support from this community of sponsors, and extremely appreciative. The California Endowment's letting us use this space, which is beautiful and has a fancy ceiling that I can't wrap my mind around. And like, look at this place. So that's huge. Smart Growth California and Common Council Foundation have helped us bring a bunch of groups from the Central Valley. We heard all that cheering earlier. That wasn't the case 2 years ago. So that's huge. Grounded Solutions Network, Catali Foundation, U.S. Bank, huge support for our work. Thank you. Same goes Irvine Community Land Trust, James Irvine Foundation, LISC. And then we have this whole group of other sponsors who have come in to support this conference. We have stipends. Most CLTs here have a stipend to support travel to get here. Many folks here wouldn't be here without those. That's because of those sponsors. Obviously the bus tours, you know, we're gonna have some nice dinner tonight. All of that is on the backs of this group of supporters. So thank you. Yeah. Okay, the most kind of complicated part of our schedule is now behind us, but there's a few little quirks that we're gonna make sure we're on the same page about. So after this, we are going to go to our first set of breakout sessions. So you can see here, there's 4 simultaneous breakouts. You can choose whichever speaks to your heart. This doesn't have the rooms in them, but the Whova app has the room for each breakout session. And I believe the name of the session is in front of the room. Maybe, maybe not. You'll figure out it's not. Shouldn't have said that. Okay. So in that first block, we have cities, counties, and CLTs collaborating to create homes that last. That's in this room. And that will be interpreted into Spanish. The rooms. Sure, and the agenda. Go to the agenda. We're going to talk about the Whova app in a second. So, okay. CLT strategies for land donation, bargain sales, and planned giving in the Catalina room. That's one of the rooms in the hallway going out towards the lobby. Catalyzing anti-displacement acquisitions. That's in the Joshua Tree room, which is just over there, through the door over there. And then this is one of the tricky things. We have a few sessions that are kind of semi-closed. So one of our semi-closed sessions is the Central Valley Roundtable. This is for a set of folks who you know who you are, part of a cohort of groups from the Central Valley, and they're going to be doing some deep digging in the Mojave room, which is another one down the hallway there. And then we're going to gather for a group photo. But here's the thing. This says 5 p.m. I think we're running a little ahead because we're traumatized by how behind we were last year, so we overcompensated. So let's change things up. So this says 3:50 are the workshops, but we could do 3:30 for the workshops, all right? That's pretty crazy, I know. 3:30, that means they're gonna end at 4:40, at which point we're gonna go straight to this picture because we don't wanna lose anyone. And that picture is gonna be, I think, on the far left side of this courtyard. My left, you're sitting around circle tables, I don't know what. That side of the courtyard, towards the the metal fence-like structure. You'll see because we'll be a big group. So we would love if you come straight from the workshop, go there. If we don't have a picture of everyone, this event didn't happen, please join it. Thank you. And then you're gonna have a break and we're gonna regroup for a reception at 6. The reception is not here, it's at Grand Park, which is about a 20-minute walk from here. You can drive, you can take a cab. I think you can take the train there or you can walk, and we're gonna have folks taking kind of leading groups to walk together. You don't have to walk together, but you can. And right after the picture, we'll point them out and we'll have a nice fun stroll to the reception. Please keep your name badge with you because it's cordoned off, and that way you'll just walk in and it'll be chill. that is today. Let's see what I'm missing. Okay, a little more about tomorrow. We're meeting back here at 8. We're having breakfast. We're gonna have our first session starting at 9, and then the first breakout's at 9:40. So make sure to be here by 9, please. You'll see these yellow italicized breakout groups. Those are more of those semi-closed sessions. So tomorrow morning, we're gonna have a space for BIPOC CLT leaders. If that's you, you're welcome to join. You're not required to join. It's gonna be a loosely structured, informal opportunity to meet each other and have some conversations. You can go to that. You can go to one of the other spaces. If you're not a CLT BIPOC leader, go to one of the other ones. Same goes for the 11 a.m. block where there's a CLT residents mixer. That's for CLT residents, speaks for itself. And then in the afternoon, we have a CLT board members meetup at 2:30. And then the final thing tomorrow is we're gonna meet back up here at 3:40. We're doing a book giveaway. Gonna be exciting. I heard 4 people make excited noises. So I hope they get the books. And then we need to get out of here shortly after 5 because the venue, yeah. And before we get out of here, shortly after 4, we're gonna make a survey available through Whova. We'll also put up a QR code, and we would love you to fill out this eval survey. It's also really important because network members, there's questions about working groups you want to get involved with. So there's a lot going on there. You have to do it tomorrow. How do you get on the Whova app? You maybe already have it on your phone, or you've accessed it online, maybe. How many people have access to our conference in the Whova app? That's a lot of hands. It's not every hand, which is why we have this QR code. So that's one way to do it. Or you search, you download Whova and you search for California Community Land Trust Network Conference and it'll pop up, or come see me or other folks. In this app, there's a lot there. I'm very confused by it, but if you scroll down, there's buttons. One of them says logistics. That has some good stuff in it, especially about if you want to park at the reception, which I'll come back to now because I should have said something about that a second ago. That's in there. There's also the agenda piece, which should, if it doesn't have the rooms on it, the rooms will be on in a second. So get the Whova app. Coming back to that parking piece, and then I'm almost done. So Lydia has a code if you're struggling to get into our Whova page. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so if you drove here, you have 2 options at the end of today. You can walk to the park and come back for your car. You'll have to come in through the entrance that's over there, not through the parking lot, and you'll buzz and they'll let you in and you'll go to your car. Or you can take your car to the reception. There's 2 parking lots. We have information about them in Whova that are very close to the reception. They cost money. You might want to have cash in case they need cash. Let's just say that to be safe. So that's up to you. Choose your own adventure. Cool. Okay. Lydia, did you want to add something about interpretation? Very final. Oh, I gotta stop paying that. Very last thing for me. We are going to be sharing slides from all the presentations after the conference. I know a couple of people had questions about that. And we're recording many of the sessions, though not all of the sessions, and those are also going to be made available later.
I have an announcement, not about interpretation, just a last announcement about Whova. If your group of participants was registered by one person who did not include your email, you will not be able to use the Whova app and access our event unless you come see me for a code. So if you registered with your work email, that should give you access, signing in with that same email. And if someone else registered you, that's probably why you cannot access the information, and you just need a code to be able to access it. Thank you.
Great. So we'll see you at 3:30. Oh, we have a question. Parking? More about parking? At the reception. Okay, so I believe we have a map showing 2 parking garages in Hoover. And you find that map by going logistics. Oh, it's also on our website. And Shirley has that map in their hand right now. Shirley was over there. But there's basically a garage on either side of the area of the park where we have the reception. If you go to our website and go to conference logistics or go in Hoover, it'll be there. And that's why it's good we have an extra long break right now for us all to worry about parking. So we have 20 minutes until 3:30, and then we'll see you all in the workshop rooms. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.